The year is 2024. We just watched Johnny Mnemonic.
Set in 2021.
Took place 3 years ago.
Maybe the most realistic hacker movie, and also a great pinball game.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Of all time.
Yeah, well, the net might have been more realistic. Or Swordfish, possibly, but...
Well, the good news is we have someone that can actually help us figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, we've had so many moments on this podcast where we've like, man, we need a hacker's perspective.
If only we knew a hacker that could help us figure things out.
And we do. We have my brother, who we will refer to as Jay, to protect his identity.
Well, we're legally obligated to protect his identity.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if it's legally, but we should protect his identity because of his, activities.
We'll do our best. From what I've heard, it sounds like he lives a pretty dangerous life.
Yeah.
No fear.
I mean, we're having to do this on like a secure line and like through a VPN and, be extra careful. So actually, Jay manages our website, bashpinball.com. Jay has dozens of servers that he operates, and so our podcast lives on one of his servers and is protected by his hacking skills, I guess.
Yeah. Last time I checked, the website was pretty happy there too.
So yeah, we're ready to have him on.
Yes.
Mr. JM, that's his initials.
Same initials.
Coincidence? I don't know.
Oh, interesting.
So let's welcome Mr. JM onto the episode.
Hello, Jay.
Hey, Matt and Don. How's it going?
Hey, are you all right? Your voice sounds pretty weird. Usually your voice is a lot lower.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I've had a cold.
Your voice gets higher when you have a cold?
Like a lot higher?
It's like, what? Is that like a COVID thing or something?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll be okay. I'm feeling a lot better. By the way, are we recording yet? I was trying to fix something on bashpinball.com, but I forgot the password.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's easy to remember. Hang on. It's thirsty for...
Wait, capital T.
Yeah, capital T. Thirsty number 4 Gomez, capital G, 800885.
Wait, don't finish that password. That wasn't me. It was an imposter.
What is happening?
Wait, an imposter?
An imposter?
Yeah, I think it's the Yakuza. They've been after me for years. I stole some data. It's for a good cause.
What?
What? You stole how much data?
320 gigs. It was a lot at the time. That was back when I was a data courier.
Right.
Okay.
Cool, I guess.
There was this dolphin, actually.
Anyways, we were going to talk about the film Johnny Mnemonic.
Which we all watched together last night, sort of, for the first time.
Sort of.
I mean, and maybe it bears mentioning that just the premise of the movie in general, he has to transmit a large amount of data.
Right.
Because he has an implant in his brain that allows him to store data.
Wet wired.
So basically the premise of this movie is that it's somehow better to make a human thumb drive than just a normal thumb drive.
Well, you can steal a thumb drive. You can't steal Johnny Mnemonic.
But I'm pretty sure you can.
They did try.
They tried.
And they did steal him on at least one occasion. He got away, but it seems kind of like...
But he puts up a better fight than a thumb drive.
But couldn't you just make like
how many floppy disks is that? That's like, what, at least 400 floppies or something crazy?
Maybe that's why it seems so ridiculous.
Right.
Because the amount of data couldn't possibly be stored on anything. Like now when you watch, you're like, oh, I have a thumb drive bigger than 320 gigabytes. Like, why didn't they just put it on a thumb drive?
Exactly.
But in the movie, they have a disc. Like they transfer it from like a little disc that looks like a CD, like a little mini CD, onto his brain. So clearly they can store that amount of data on a small device.
The safest way is through, Keanu Reeves.
I guess this is...
I mean, as proven by the film.
Yeah. Okay.
I dare you to try to steal that data from him. I dare Jay, because Jay is a real hacker.
I mean, because like the whole thing is like, oh, he's a data courier. It doesn't sound like a badass profession. It's not like he's a hitman or something. He's just a data courier.
Data courier. I think it's a hitman, dude, with not hitting people, just absorbing data and then delivering,
and then hiding and escaping and delivering data. Yeah, it's a stretch.
I mean, think about it. If you had the entirety of the future of civilization
Yeah.
Would you entrust it to a thumb drive or Keanu Reeves?
I don't know. They kept talking about how easy it was for the data to get corrupted, and there's only one copy of it because they burned the original.
I know who I would pick.
Keanu?
Keanu.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Keanu is the best human thumb drive.
Hands down.
Yeah. So, Jay,
Yeah.
you got into pinball kind of not long after me because you were coming over and playing in the Shedcade.
Yeah.
And so we went in together and split Johnny because we found one locally. And Jay, you ended up with it for about a year.
Yeah. It was about a year. I wasn't expecting to keep it that long, but
yeah, it kind of worked out that way.
But I was definitely happy to have that game. It was a really fun game to learn on.
Yeah. And Don
It
Don
is.
was the only one who had ever even played it before we bought it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I think that's totally right. Like, it is a fun game to learn on, and I think had it been a different game, I don't think I would be here. I don't think I would have gotten into pinball the way that I did. I think that game has like a nice, perfect combo of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a very, like, the rules are simple, but there is a more complex way, I don't know, complex, but deeper way to get a high score, which is kind of fun.
And you being you figured this game out more than like me or Don might have if we had it.
Yeah, I mean, despite the rules being simple, my strategy did gradually evolve. Even after a year, it had changed a little bit.
So, Johnny Mnemonic, what's special about this game? What's special about the playfield or different about it?
I think the shots are really satisfying.
Yeah.
And you have to do the left ramp, right ramp.
Yeah.
Or left ramp, right loop repeatedly. And it just feels great.
It's a fun flow because the left and right ramps both return the ball to the flipper. If you can keep hitting those shots, you can kind of keep doing that.
Yeah, and you can loop it all the way around.
The full orbit,
easily
loop it through Jones.
Which feels great when you do that several times.
I agree. I think that game, just the way that the shots feed off of each other, feels a lot like modern games today. Like in terms of how fast it goes, and if you kind of get the feel and flow of it, you can kind of have a lot of fun just hitting those shots back to back. And
it's just very natural, flows from one shot to the next.
It's like you become the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of George Gomez's flowiest games, and maybe one of the flowiest 90s games because you can really play it on the fly.
Yeah. I mean,
the Data Glove breaks it up, but apart from that, like it's got a really good flow. Compared to other 90s Williams games, it does feel a little cost-cutty to me. There's not a lot of toys other than that Data Glove or anything. There's no dolphin.
Yeah.
There's no pink hand grenade. There's just a playfield, so 2 ramps, spinner, and the Data Glove.
Well, you've got video mode.
and you've got a video mode that has the least amount of effort put into it that I have ever seen in my life.
I love it.
That also has nothing to do with the movie.
I don't know how that relates to the movie at all.
Snarf.
I don't get how that relates to the movie at all.
Yeah.
Maybe I missed it. I don't know.
But it's really fun because it's just a fast, flowy layout.
It's for me, man, I think it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's missing anything. Maybe it's my heart telling me that, But yeah, man, I think it's got it all. You know?
I love it. I really don't have any complaints.
Yeah.
Other than the hand not being, or the glove not being super reliable.
Yeah.
I think it could have more stuff in it, but then I think you would lose some of the simplicity that makes it also more accessible.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it suffers too much from not having too much stuff. It's just kind of notable in that era of games. This one doesn't seem like they blew out the budget compared to like Addams Family or something.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love the game. I think it's a really fun game and very challenging.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed trying to come up with a strategy on the game and
kind of hack the scoring a little bit.
Yeah, because you guys are much better pinball players than me.
I don't know.
I disagree. I saw you playing the other day, yesterday and today, and
I'm not consistent.
None of us are.
To be able to keep up, I have to figure out the strategy.
Yeah.
That's my...
Yeah, me and Don are more wing it type of players.
I'm kind of a messy player. I just go.
Yeah.
But then I get in trouble because I don't know what I'm doing, right? So anyways.
And now for an important message.
Did I hear you right? Did I hear you saying that you're gonna make a copy of a game without paying? Come on, guys. thought you knew better. Don't copy that floppy. No common San Diego, no more Oregon Trail. Tetris and the others, they're all gonna fail. Not because we want it, but because you're just taking it. Disrespecting all the folks who are making it. Say you see a game you like and you really wanna try it. Don't copy that floppy, just go to the store and buy it. Don't copy that floppy. See ya, I'm out of here.
And now, back to the show.
Yeah, so Jay, growing up, as long as I can remember, as long as we had computers, you were figuring them out and learning the ins and outs of these futuristic machines. So I remember Dad got a Mac Plus because you could do word processing, and he got I think it had 2 megabytes of internal memory.
It had 2 megs of RAM. The salesman told him that he didn't need a hard drive.
Right.
That the built-in floppy drive was all he needed. But
yeah, it needs more than that.
He splurged and got the 20 megabyte hard drive,
which was like almost as big as like a shoebox or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a 20 megabyte hard drive.
Yeah, and I think I remember he had something like 20,000 files on that.
Yeah. And then, so the hacker story that I remember from an earliest age was in middle school. My friend Ben had hacked in to the school's computers to change his grades, which you were in 8th grade.
Now, I had previously spent some time playing with the security on those computers, and the administration was aware, but they knew that I was the
preeminent
I
expert.
consider myself a good hacker.
Yeah, hacking for good.
So I recall them asking me to come clean up after the mess that Ben made.
What year was that?
How old are you in 6th grade? 12?
It was probably around 95.
95?
No, it would have been like 93,
93, 94.
93. Yeah, so that would have been around 93, 94.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked was because I was going to ask you how you made your services known. How did you become known as one of the 3 guys in the state that could unhack the school system?
I don't remember.
Did you make any money?
Remember?
Did you make any money doing this?
Not in 8th grade. I didn't. I think a couple of years later, I started a IT business.
In 10th grade?
Yeah,
around there. Yeah.
Did you get paid?
Yeah, I started fixing computers for people.
So you became a professional at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, it made it hard to want to go get a job anywhere else because I was making so much per hour.
You're making hacker money.
Yeah. That, minimum wage at CompUSA was not appealing.
How much does a hacker make?
As much as they want to make. It's kind of just like how much money you want, you can get it.
How much would you charge to unhack a school system?
To unhack a school system? Unfortunately, schools go for the cheapest possible option, which ends up being 8th graders sometimes.
Once we got to college, the game that we played constantly was Counter-Strike.
We started when it was either 1.0 or 1.1.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah,
I don't think we played the beta.
Yeah.
We might have.
But we got heavily into Counter-Strike, and we had some servers set up. What was the tournaments and stuff that we would...
Yeah, Cal.
Yeah, the Cal leagues. But cheating was a big issue with Counter-Strike, where people would install software to allow them to auto-aim or to like see through walls.
Yeah, so there was someone else, Olo, if you remember Olo. He's the one that actually created the software for that, and I kind of joined that team and helped to write some new plugins and integrate some other ideas into that software.
Yeah, so didn't like most people who played that game have your software installed at some point?
Yeah, some of the stuff that I wrote ended up being the default on most servers, and most servers ended up running some of my code.
Yeah, so anyone who played Counter-Strike in the early 2000s was probably benefiting from your hacking skills on some level.
Yeah, and apparently games later, too, people ported some of those plugins
to other
games.
Yeah, I remember like your like signature username and stuff like that was popping up like in other places where you weren't even involved with it, but they had used your code.
Yeah, I made the mistake of putting my email address in the source code. And
rookie hacker mistake.
Very much so.
It's cool that you were on the counter-terrorism, Counter-Strike team.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. You were the most counter-terrorist of any of the counter-terrorists in that game.
Without you, people could not have counter-striked.
That was the problem with that game, is like there were people who were so good at it. Oftentimes it was difficult to tell who was hacking and who wasn't. And there was even people in our own clan sometimes that we would play with all the time and didn't know if they were cheating or not. Because, man, these people are really good.
Yeah, they were so good.
Yeah.
Like one day, just overnight, oh my gosh, he's really good today.
No, but it was like this vetting process where people would come and hang out on our server for a while and like play with us and be like, man, yeah. And then eventually you're like, do you want to join our clan? And it's always this weird thing where it's like, well, this person seems almost too good. and I remember there was one guy who was like a child. Like his voice clearly hadn't even changed, and like fuzzy. I remember it was fuzzy, fuzzy.mod. Mod was our clan was called the Mod Clan. I don't remember why. And I was purple.
No relation to the Ministry of Defense in Russia.
Yeah, I was purple monkey dishwasher.mod, and you were we can't say what your name was.
Yeah, don't go there.
Yeah. But
we're gonna get sued.
Sued by who?
I'm not sure yet. How much money did you make counter-striking terrorists for Counter-Strike? Can you say? Are you at liberty to discuss?
It was many, many years before this hacker made a penny.
You got to pay your dues as a hacker before you can start really monetizing it, I think.
Yeah, I don't know anything about hacking.
He was a benevolent, charitable hacker at that time.
Okay. The good hackers don't make as much money as the bad hackers.
Because he's been trying to benefit the community.
It's like life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now for a word from our sponsor.
The year is 2021. The last hope for mankind has been entrusted to a lone courier known as Johnny Mnemonic.
Johnny.
Who are you? Now, he's a threat to the powerful, a target to be eliminated. And this summer, he's the future's most wanted fugitive. Keanu Reeves is Johnny Mnemonic, rated R, at theaters Friday.
And now, back to the show.
So the theme of Johnny Mnemonic, how well did they integrate the theme with the movie, you know?
Yeah.
There is the context of like, well, they were developing this game concurrently with the movie and they hadn't seen the movie yet. So you don't really know how the movie's going to get cut together.
You don't really know what parts of the film are going to stand out versus what's in the script.
Yeah, there were a lot of little things missing, like the dolphin is not in the game at all, other than a little drawing.
On the playfield and on the back glass a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and the data glove has a more significant role in the game.
In the game,
than in the movie.
Yeah, he didn't even use a data glove, right? Or did he?
He uses it briefly
at the end when he had to hack into his own brain and
no
loop
data
it,
glove.
loop it
No
through
data
Jones.
glove for that.
No data glove, right?
No, just the Crazy Bob's. Actually, just the Crazy Bob's.
Only
scene.
at Crazy Bob's, right? Yeah.
And also, like, Crazy Bob's is kind of like a huge thing in the game, and it's like one little scene in the movie,
10
and then
minutes
they never mention it again.
Tops.
We wouldn't even notice that it was Crazy Bob's if it weren't for the game.
Right.
It was one line.
It was a throwaway line. It's like, oh, let's go to Crazy Bob's. And then literally Crazy Bob's gets blown up less than like 3 minutes later, and we're done. That's interesting watching the movie after the game, and like your whole idea of Johnny Mnemonic is the game.
Yeah.
And then you see this like alternate reality version of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like if I was critiquing the game and the theme integration, I would say it's a little off. it gets the vibe.
I agree with you.
And I love the vibe of the game in general. Like the colors and everything is cool. The DMD stuff is cool. The call-outs are cool. But there's so many things from the movie that could have made it into the game that didn't. And like Jones, the dolphin, like you said, it's just a little drawing on the playfield. I think this would be like Jaws. We'd be like, why didn't Jaws eat the ball? Where's the dolphin? Like, there should be a big dolphin.
It should be like
with like wires coming off of it.
It should be like a tank with like fake water and like a creature in there, and it's moving around, and
Now I wish the game had a dolphin, like a big sculpted dolphin somewhere.
I know.
Because it's such a critical part of the movie. Other stuff, like there's a pink hand grenade in the movie, which makes pretty significant appearance, and that's like completely absent from the game. There's Dolph Lundgren's insane cybernetic street preacher that also doesn't even exist in the game at all, I don't think.
Doesn't exist at all.
Not to mention on the back glass, Keanu's up there, Ice-T's up there, Asian guy who looks like Gilbert Gottfried is up there.
Yep.
And no Dolph Lundgren. Like, I didn't even know. So that was one of the most fun things about the movie, is just this bonkers Dolph Lundgren character who comes out of nowhere that I wasn't expecting, but he's not in the game.
You're selling this movie right now. And I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I kind of loved it. As much as it's not a good movie, I loved it.
You talking about this? I want to watch it again.
I loved it this time around. The first time I watched it, I think just expecting something different and didn't really pay attention to it.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it checked all the boxes for me in that like nostalgic way. It feels like it sits right alongside Total Recall and other sci-fi 90s movies to me. It has that same sort of crazy vibe, like overacting, just nuts. The other thing about the game is like you're trying to get to power down. And we were just playing the game again after watching the movie, and we're like, wait a minute, like, okay, a lot of this stuff makes more sense now that we've seen the movie, but what the heck is power down? That's like not in the movie.
That doesn't seem like a goal in the movie. No. Like, you don't want to power down. There's
is the power down in the game supposed to be like him getting the thing out of his brain? I don't know. It's weird.
It's weird.
The only power down I remember is when I think it was Jesus
Dolph Lundgren
cut all the monitors.
Yeah, he powered down all the monitors.
But that wasn't a goal.
No, that was like a setback.
Negative thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the goal should have been like broadcast the NAS cure.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense.
The disease that makes you have like weird, bad acting muscle spasms.
Muscle spasms, yeah.
And then you die from it.
Yeah.
And you get left in the mall.
Keanu, he didn't. He went back for her, but it seemed that way.
Yeah.
But I knew he's a good guy. I knew he would go back and save her.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil. No spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Nobody's gonna watch that movie, man.
But seriously,
you should though.
People should watch that movie. Like, I think if you like this podcast,
you
will probably like that movie. Like, if you're around our age and you grew up watching, 90s action movies and 90s sci-fi movies, you should watch. You should absolutely watch this movie.
Yeah. I'll give you $1.
Yeah,
if you watch it.
Yeah, I'll refund your $4 if you don't like it. Ask me for $4.
Limited time only.
While supplies last.
Next 10 customers.
Not a guarantee.
Not a guarantee.
Thanks for listening to the Hacker Extravaganza episode. And thanks, Jay, for being our guest. And
hey, guys, I got to go. I got to make a long-distance phone call.
Oh. They still have those?
That was abrupt.
Double cheese and anchovies, please.
Sorry about that. Jay's a pretty busy guy. It was super cool getting to know Jay, and we're super grateful that he prevented us from getting hacked. We're going to be dropping some short-form bonus episodes with additional content from this conversation soon. Until then, just remember, if someone asks for your password, think twice before just giving it to them, you doofus. Oh yeah, and don't forget to
snatch back your brain, zombie.
Leave this territory now.
evacuate all personnel.